Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. On leaving the synagogue, Jesus entered the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. Simon's mother-in-law lay sick with a fever. They immediately told him about her. He approached, grasped her hand, and helped her up. Then the fever left her, and she waited on them. When it was evening, after sunset, they brought to him all who were ill and oppressed by demons. The whole town was gathered at the door. He cured many who were sick with various diseases and drove out many demons, not permitting them to speak because they knew him. Rising very early before dawn, he left and went off to a deserted place where he prayed. Simon and those who were with him pursued him, and finding him said, "Everyone is looking for you." He told them, "Let us go to the nearby villages, that I may preach there also. For this purpose I have come." So he went into their synagogues, preaching and driving out demons through whole of Galilee. The Gospel of the Lord. I want to take a look at Peter's mother-in-law here. For those of you who have mothers-in-laws, this might be interesting. You look at the very specific words that are involved here. Okay, Peter's mother-in-law, and Jesus takes her hand. He takes her by the hand. It's a very physical experience for her. It's not just one of those things where, I know you're not feeling well, and I'll pray for you, which that's not a bad thing. But when you say to somebody you're going to pray for them, it's easy to forget sometimes. Probably never happens to you. Wait till you're 60. But instead, Jesus becomes very, very personally involved with her. And so he approaches her. He grasps her. He grasps her hand. That's a very interesting word. And he helps her up. You can almost see him pulling her out of the bed or pulling her to get up. He's really involved and invested. And when you look at that word grasp, it has a kind of a double meaning. It has to do with intellectually understanding, which shows you that just that physical contact with her, he is really seeing and understanding her pain. He's involved with what she's feeling. And also the word grasp can mean literally holding with a strong grip. In other words, it's not just like a little dainty, I've got your hand, honey. Okay? And then he helps her up. And he holds her. I was thinking about how you see even He's with her. He's really, really with her. And I can hear the word Emmanuel ringing everywhere here. God is with you. God is holding you. God is helping you. Emmanuel. His grace. Why? Because we can't do it alone. And so, Peter's mother-in-law is all of humanity. Peter's mother-in-law is all of humanity that longs for the grasp of Christ. Peter's mother-in-law is humanity in need of the grasp of Christ through our helping hands. Peter's mother-in-law is healed humanity that's empowered to be at the service of Christ's body and his church. And you can see that because she doesn't just settle for being healed, but she's got to get up and be at the service of Jesus, which is the call for all of us to be at the service of Jesus. And so now, after experiencing this encounter with Christ, grasping, pulling, holding, and healing, now comes the question, would you be the healing hand of Christ for someone else?
Regina Celi, letare